This is the August 2023 review of the Innovative Marine EXT 200. Just finished setting it up today. So let's take a look at the tank.
How does she hit 3 bullets?
I did a previous video on the light rack up top. That turned out pretty well. I've got two of my old Red Sea LED 50s and a LED 90 in the middle, and then two of the 160s on the outside. The video about the light mount, as discussed, turned out really well. Works well. I can put just about any light I want, and I can adapt it. I also put a pair of Reef brights. They are the blue XL Reef brights. Turned out really well. They're very, very blue, and I ended up having to turn up the whites on my Red Seas to kind of make up the difference, but I've got them like 50-50 blue and white on the Red Seas, and then matching that with the Reef brights. I think it turned out pretty well. We'll take a look at the tank. I've got two of the max spec, the bigger max specs on the side for my wave makers, and then I've got two MP40s on the back, and that's all I've got for wave makers, and it seems to work fantastic. I've got good flow all throughout the tank. I took a lot of my older rocks from my prior tank, as you can see, the ones with the core line on them, and then I created the white structures, and I sort of mixed and matched them, and I think the rock work turned out pretty well.
He waits for them to push, and then he kills the third person that pushes. He counted, he said 1, 2, okay, kill the third, yeah.
I've got this island I built over here that's sitting all on its own, and plan to make this island strictly for rock anemones. I'm actually going to the Southern California Anaheim Convention Center tomorrow. They've got the Reefapalooza. So hopefully, if anyone has any rock anemones there, I'll be picking some up. So I'm very happy with how the rock work turned out. My opinion on the tank itself, I think it's absolutely a beautiful tank. I love the dimensions. It's just deep enough that I can get my arm in it from pretty much most angles. Perfect for, as far as the depth is great. It's a very, very deep tank. I love that. I really like the dimensions a lot. Glass work is gorgeous. I love everything about it. Leveling it was a pain because I have tile floor and it does not have leveling feet. That's probably the only negative I have on this tank, is the lack of the leveling feet. Here's a view from the side. And then we'll go down and take a look at the sump. I've got the Nuvo RFS50 sump that came with Innovative Marine. Very happy with it. It's got filter sock compartments, although the whole compartment here has where the filter socks sit, that black thing just pops out, so that can open, and I imagine you can fit some sort of roller in there. I'm not sure. It's a large skimmer chamber I will be getting a refugium going at one point, so it's got a good refugium chamber. And then the return, it's really nice in the back of the return chamber. It's actually got a bunch of slots for all your dosers, and it's really easy for your dosers. It has another slot for the ATO return with all sorts of adapters for different size returns. That's really nice. It's got this holder that is made for the Nuvo Refugium light, and it comes with the sump, so I'm really happy with the sump. Very nice build. Plumbing came out pretty well. I'm happy with the plumbing. It's the one thing I did not do myself. I've done a ton of plumbing and I decided not to do this. Obviously I've got a rat's nest going over here, but I cleaned it up as best I could. One thing I have found is I've got 1, 2, and then 3 fans, and those blow up and that blows out. And I think that does help because these controllers that I have, and I ended up having to put a lot of the controllers underneath the tank to fit them. They get very hot, especially the light ones. And so those fans help to cool them off. And then we'll take a look at the controller board. Which came out pretty nice. I just got a piece of pine, cut it to shape, and then drilled the holes. My wife was nice enough to paint it for me. I think it came out really nice. One thing I did do in order to mount the controller board is I ended up getting some thick boards on the back of the tank, and I mounted these boards to studs, and then I went ahead and mounted a white board in the back. And so that white board is mounted to the wall, and that way I didn't have to worry about mounting anything to the frame of the stand. So this white board that's in the back there is actually mounted to the wall technically through those boards. And that allowed me to mount this, which is on a hinge, and I can flip it open if I want. I mounted that also to that board, so that's all mounted to the wall, and I didn't have to mount anything to the stand itself, so it worked out pretty well. Very happy with the tank. Looking forward to getting more corals. Got a lot of room for more acros up there up top, and I've got a shipment of fish coming from Dr. Reef. That should be coming in the next few weeks. So I'll have a bunch more fish as well. So I'm looking forward to it.